Hi everyone, there is no class this week, it's BYO. So what I thought to do is make some Scrappy surprise boxes. So they're very quick, easy projects to make. They're perfect for using up some of the scraps we save and some of the fussy cut images that we have lying around. So I've made a few different ones here that I'm showing you. We will be making this one that you're looking at right now kind of live. So, and then I made some Christmas ones with the leftovers from our Christmas collection. And this one is slightly smaller. It's actually 3 by 3, where the others are 4 by 4. And this one has flaps. And then I made a big 4 by 4 with the Christmas stuff as well. Like I said, there is no class this week, just a nice little get together. So I'll put the video on and I'll come back at the end. So the first thing we're going to do is get our 300 GSM paper or anything nice and thick for making the box, and I'm going to cut it at 4 inches strips, and I need 2 strips for these. And I need them to be 8.5. And then we're going to score. Now, I have done this video a few times, and each and every time I have cut instead of scored. So I'm going to remove my blade. So the scoring we need is at 4 inches and 8 inches. So 4 and 8. And the same with the other one, exactly the same, 4 inches and 8 inches. Perfect. So this will make our box, and we just need to glue it into a box. So I'll do that right now. And then a couple of clips will hold that all nice while it's drying. And I'll put this aside to dry, and in the meantime we'll make our little bits to go in here. So for that I'm going to use the last of our 4-inch pieces, and what we want, let's do a 5.5, and we'll do 3/4 inches. I'll show you what I mean. So we're gonna cut it at 5.5. Then I'm gonna remove the cutter, because you know me, I cut it. Then we're gonna do 3/4 inch. And now with your cutters, you can actually do 3/4 on either side. Most cutters have a measuring bed on both sides of the cutter. So 3/4 on that side. And 3/4 on that side. So that, by my calculation, should be 4 inches. Look at that, I got it right. Next thing we're gonna do is cut. Actually, I don't have to take it off, just pop this back in. We are gonna cut it in 1-inch strips. And we want about 4 strips in total. Sorry, 4 1-inch strips. Now, by the time we cut those, these should be nice and dry. Perfect. Next part is to put these in here. So what we're going to do is we are going to glue each side. So I'm going to pop one to hold it, so it stays nice and straight, and I'll put my glue on the other one, and I'll put my other one down, and then pop that there, and that will hold it so it doesn't move. Beautiful. And then I'll turn it around, and this side that I haven't glued yet, I'll glue it now. Now, if you're really, really good, you will wait until that's completely dry and then do this side. But that's what I got clips for. So next one, same. So I'll put my first clip down, so it holds it there. I got fat fingers, so you need little fingers for this. And that goes right there, and then this one will go right here. Pop my glue on, put it on there, and then we put a clip to hold it. Now with glue, you got a few seconds to move it around if you're not happy on how it's looking. But I'm very happy with that. Turn it over, and I'll glue this side as well. It's a really fun day here at the moment. I have Frankie outside. It's been barking and meowing. The dogs have been barking at everybody that drives past. They don't normally, but I think they're a little bit hyper. I think they're just annoyed that nobody's stopping to pet them, more likely. Okay, I like how that looks. Now we have two more. And what I normally do is, you can continue this way, but I just turn them over and start on this side. So one. You can do this using double-sided tape, but for those that have been following me for a while, they know my thoughts on double-sided tape. Love it. Not on its own. I would never use double-sided tape on its own. I always back it up with glue, because double-sided tape will give you the immediate stick, but we live in Australia and we have high temperature changes, and that means that the double-sided tape will dry eventually. I don't care how good your double-sided tape is, it will dry. It might take a few years, but they will. I've got scrapbooking from when Merlin used to be little. Now he passed away a few years ago, and he was 14, and his scrapbooks are falling apart. I've had to go ahead and redo them in with glue. So my go-to is glue. Yes, you can hear Frankie calling Winter, and believe it or not, she usually knows that it's him, so she ignores him. Sometimes in the middle of the night he calls her, and she goes running, thinking that somebody's outside calling her. So it's a real farm here. I have all kinds of animals. And somebody stole my chicken. I have chickens, and every day they get let out of the cage and they go up and down the orchard. And on, I want to say Thursday night, somebody stole a chicken. And no, it wasn't a fox, because there was no feathers, no nothing. The chicken actually disappeared from the front of my house, because my chickens love to come to the front and make a nuisance of themselves. So yes, and it was during the day, so Somebody was driving past, obviously saw the chicken out and just grabbed it. Horrible people, because my chickens are my babies as well as every other animal. So anyway, that's my box. I'm just going to pop it aside and leave it to dry. While this is drying, I'll show you how to do the 3" by 3". And what I'll do is I'll make flaps on the 3" by 3". Where this one I'm going to leave it as it is. You can always make this one with the flaps. You just need 2 pieces of paper, that's all. Okay, let's get started with the smaller boxes. And these sizes are very, like for example, if you think 3 inches too small but 4 inches too big, you can make it 3.5. You just increase it as you need to. So paper. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it at 6.5. And then this one, 6.5, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to cut it at 4.5. And I need 2. Okay, so then I'm going to score it. Let's see if I can remember not to cut it. So this one I'm going to score at 3 inches. Remember, everything is going to be 3 inches. So let's do 3 inches. Turn it around, 3 inches, and then 6 inches. And the other one will be exactly the same. 3 inches. 3 inches. And then 6 inches. Okay, now I'll get some scissors out because this part, once you do them a lot, you can do them on your cutter. But for the start, I will do them by hand. So we've got a 3 by 3 scored area and a 1.5 by 3. And I will separate that scored area because that's going to be my flaps. And again, on that side, and remove this part. Now you need to cut straight, so don't cut like I'm cutting. That's why I use my cutter for everything. So there we go, and this is what it started like. So we have the 2 sides and the 2 flaps, and that one to the other flap to glue it on. So let's do this one next. And glue flap. And that can go there. That is just gorgeous. And we got a little flaps here. Beautiful. So I'll put this aside to dry and leave it there. And what we'll do is we'll cut the little pieces that go on the inside. It's whatever scrap paper you have lying around. And we want it to be 4 inches by, what's this one? That's 3.5. So I need it to be 4 inches. And then I'm going to score at 1/2 inch on each side. So that will be at 3 inch. Perfect. And then I need just 4 strips again, or 3 strips, whatever you can get out of that. I'm gonna make them 3/4 of an inch strips. Let's see how many I've got. 1. And now the tabs are 1/2 inch this time instead of 3/4 inch like the other one. And there's our 4. Okay, so this should be nice and dry by now. Perfect. So the next part is to add our strips. Okay, so like before, I'm going to pop one in. Now this is going to be slightly harder because you have a flap. So there's more things that get in your way. But the idea is to make them the same way approximately. Stay. This is where you need 3 or 4 hands. So that one that stays there, and you can actually get a clip to hold it. And this one next. Bring this one back. Now the idea when you make these boxes is that you don't purchase new products, you use leftovers. So you go through your leftovers, find scrap paper that will actually go, and a few fussy cuts that will go together. Now today's fussy cuts, I have quite a lot. We have this one's here. Now, papers that go with this one. I'm not sure what I have, to tell you the truth, but I'm sure I'll find something. So we need 3 3/4. And I need more. So I'm going to eat my edges and I'm going to use coffee. I use coffee almost for everything. So all I'm doing is removing that white core from my cardstock. I cut it 3 1/2. Okay, so we start again. So try number 2. This time I'm sure I cut him 3 3/4 instead of 3 1/2, and that gives a nice little border around, but it still looks nice, not too much. Okay, so I'm gonna ink to get rid of my white core. So these are my 4 pieces of papers. I want that one at the front, which will be here. So I'm gonna glue it straight down. Glue. The easy way of doing this is just flatten it. So if you have put all your little pieces together properly, you actually can turn it and it will actually go anywhere, any way you want it. So yes. Beautiful. So decorating now. That's my front. I always start with the larger pieces at the back. Now I'm going to use acetate strips. So I've got acetate and I have cut it into about 1/2 inch strips, and I'm going to glue them on my girl just to give it extra strength, and then I'll glue the acetate to my box. So just to show you how I want to design it pretty much. So what it will look like is that there, then the big butterfly I'm thinking there. little girl on the next level, and then all the butterflies, change them a few different colors, one here, one there, and so on. I think that will work quite well. So we're going to start with the girl. Now with the acetate, double-sided tape works very quickly and very well, but again it will dry. So if you're using double-sided tape, use a little bit of glue as well. The only catch with this is that you will need for it to dry, because obviously acetate is non-porous, so it won't soak up that glue. But once it dries, you won't get it off unless you rip the paper. So that's my girl almost ready. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of shape. Now I use anything and everything to give them shape, as you can see. You can use a shaping tool, a ruler, a pencil, scissors, a scory thingy. Yes, Frankie. There she is. Now I'm humming and ahhing whether I want her. See, sometimes what I do is I double my acetate over to make it stronger. So in this case, what I will do is I will put the acetate there and burnish it and then glue it. So that way it's a much better and stronger hold. Might go as far as popping a few clips to hold it together so that it will dry all together. Cool. Now I'll put it aside and wait for that one to dry. In the meantime, I'll get my big butterfly and I want to see what she looks like. So I'm gonna get a clip and pop my girl there. Next will be the butterfly. Do I want it that way or do I want it that way? So let's get another piece of acetate, fold it in two, and I'm going to glue my butterfly to it. And I think I want that about up there somewhere. So that'll look really, really good there. Okay. The little girl I'm hoping to put up here. I will put a piece of acetate on her as well, just to give her some extra strength holding up. And then she can go there. Beautiful. I might go ahead and glue these down. Now that I'm sure where I want it. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue the little girl down. need 5 hands for this as well. Now this is how I see my box, so you can't quite see that because it's standing up. If I was to put it down here, I wouldn't be able to see what I'm attaching it to. So I'll keep working on it and I'll show you what it looks like at the end.
Our shoes on the golden ground. Sway in the autumn leaves. You are beautiful when you look at me. Can you feel my love? Can you feel my love? Oh, 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 oh. Can you feel my love? Can you feel my Stay through the change, through the way that the colors turn. Dive in with me to the deep of the orange burn and lay in the autumn leaves. You are beautiful and you're all I need. Can you feel my love? Oh, 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 oh. Can you feel my love? Oh, oh, oh.
Okay, so this should be nice and dry now. So if I remove all these little clips, none of that should fall down. And let's look at how that one that I didn't like has come out. Oh, look at that, I almost got my clip glued in there as well. That's all of them. There's another one. Okay, so we've got a closer look. And it has come out really good. That one is not quite dry yet in there. We can see the glue moving. Like I said, that's acetate, so it doesn't soak in. But you can see this one has dried and it's perfect. So it's holding it up very well. That one is very heavy, so it will pop over a little bit more. Nothing much I can do about that. If you don't like it, you don't have to put it on yours, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like when you're looking at the box, it's like that. And a side view will look like that. So if you were to have it on a cupboard or on a bench somewhere, oops, it will sit like that. And I think that looks really nice. So that's all done, and I have used both of those fussy cut sheets. This one is all nice and dry. And what I've done with mine, I have gone ahead, made another one, and I have punched the sides, so it's got round corners. Looks really good. I've used the Christmas collection, so all I have to do now is just decorate it, and I have only put 3 on this one, 3 little tabs in the center. So I'll get my fussy cut and decorate this one. I quite like how this one looks, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing those elements down.
Can you feel my love? Oh, 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 oh. Can you feel my love? Oh, oh, oh. Can you feel my love? Can you feel my
Now that's come out really cute. You can keep decorating if you want to, but I think I'll leave mine like this. And I have a few more fussy cutting that I've started a 4x4 inch box with the Australiana. So I've already started this one. I've already decorated the sides, and I've already decorated my, I glued down my koala, big koala there. And I just need to decorate the rest of it. So I'll use the rest of my fussy cutting on this box.
I need an intervention, divine intervention. Only in my crucial moments do they pay attention carefully.
I hope you enjoyed this video and you are making one for yourself. If you are, I would love to see it. I would love for you to actually pop a photo on our Facebook group. It's Joyce's Creative Corner Facebook group, and I can have a quick look at it. And I love seeing what my girls make. Well, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.